Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course I'm joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday, the Bulldogs had a big win against the number 8 team in America, the Wofford Terriers, but also really a big win when you consider our 4th win in a row. And Coach, it was a wonderful day to be a Samford Bulldog.
It really was, Kevin, and we played extremely well in all 3 phases of the game. Played a very tough opponent in Wofford, who played a really good game. We just made a few more plays in the 4th quarter than they did. Anytime you win, it's always special. Anytime you beat a top-ranked opponent, makes it more special. And then above all else, it was senior night, last regular season home game for a group of great young men that have done remarkable things in their time at Samford. And then it being homecoming. I always tell our staff that it helps to keep your job if you win homecoming games. And so it was a great day. We had a beautiful weather and a tremendous crowd that helped us beat Wofford. So I'm very appreciative of all the people that worked so hard to make that one happen.
Coach, before we get into the game highlights, I do want to give you an opportunity just to speak to that senior class. They've been a remarkable class for Samford. The wins speak for themselves, but they're also a good bunch of guys. Just talk about that senior class and what they mean to you personally and to Samford.
Well, the majority of them were guys that we signed in the first class, when I arrived as the coach here. And then there are several of them that were already here. And I've got to know them very well over 4 years. So, anytime coaches, we spend more time with those guys than we do with our own families. So they're like your own children. It was a very emotional day for me in the pregame to shake their hands, give them a hug, and send them to their parents, knowing that our days are numbered. You get to week 10, there's just not many more games left to be played, during the regular season and postseason play. So I'm very appreciative of them. If you're a Samford fan, these guys have gone to back-to-back playoffs. Hopefully this year they could do it for the 3rd time in a row. That just hasn't been done for Samford football. It's been 25 years. So, they've built a good foundation, and I'm very proud of them, and hopefully we can play a lot more games together.
Well, and I hope we'll play many more games together. We're going to get into that in a moment as well. Let's think about, as we think about the game this past Saturday against Wofford, I do want to mention that we got off to a pretty good start there as well. It was so big on that very first drive. You got Hodges to McKnight. 49 seconds into the game, we got a touchdown. It's so important to get off to a good start in those games.
It really is, and we were just calling some base plays early, and they busted a coverage, and Duck found him on the sideline, and KJ showed his speed and outran him. We jumped up on them. We held the lead the entire game, even though it did get really close there in the second half, which, is hard to extend the lead too much on a great team like Wofford. But anytime you can strike first, anytime you can have a fast start, really bodes well for the momentum and confidence moving forward throughout the game.
Yeah, I was telling someone in the press box on Saturday at the end of the game, it felt like I had watched a heavyweight boxing match in some ways. It was an emotional game. It was back and forth there, especially in the 3rd quarter. The teams were just trying to kind of feel each other out, seemed like to me, in the 3rd quarter, leading into that 4th quarter. And talk about that 4th quarter, the big plays there in the 4th quarter, especially when you look at that first drive by Samford there, getting some points on the board. That just really seemed to tip the game in the right direction.
It did, Kevin, and you got to take our hat off to to our defense. They played an outstanding game. Gave up 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals to a very high-powered Wofford offense, and on some of those were gadget plays that Wofford resorted to score, which they're very good at. They're one of the best I've ever seen at the gadget plays. But we were able to hold them to a field goal in the second half, and they came down on the opening drive, drove it all the way down the field, and holding them to a field goal was big. And then we got the ball in the second half and was able to string together some really good plays. And then, we got it down there, and we were able to punch it in with Devlin running for the touchdown. And then our defense held again. We're only up 8, and they hold again, and then we're able to hit a long pass to Moses Satini right there for the deep ball to the 1 yard line, and that turned out to be a really good play for us, and then that extended the lead to 15 points. Defense held, and we were able to run the clock out. So it was just an awesome day, and we needed it, and it keeps our hopes alive moving forward.
No doubt. Well, the offense obviously had a good day. There were times it bogged down the third quarter, but when you look at the final stats, you were playing a really good defense. I mean, Wofford's defense was top 10 defense. We knew that coming in. It was going to be tough. 454 yards total offense at the end of the day.
Yeah, when you play them, you don't get as many opportunities because they're more of a ball control. But our defense did a really good job of limiting their long drives. The offense stuttered at times, or we sputtered at times, but we hit the big plays.
Yeah.
We had a lot of explosive plays. That was the difference in the game.
Yeah, and I do want to mention the defense. You hold Wofford to 207 yards rushing, and if someone had told you last week at this time you're going to hold them to 3.8 yards per carry, that you had to feel pretty good about that.
Oh, well, there's no question about it. The big thing is we made them punt 6 times,
yeah.
And I believe that's my 7th time coaching against Wofford. And in all 7 times, I don't believe they've ever punted 6 times, and it combined over the course of those years. So that boded very well for us. Again, we're making good plays over there. I thought we tackled well. We're playing with a lot of confidence in all 3 phases. You can really see that each and every Saturday.
Let's talk about home field advantage. We have really played well at home since 2015. 17-5 home record. What is it about Cyber Stadium that we play so well there? I mean, what has been really for you the thing that's kind of taken us over the top?
Well, first of all, let's knock on wood on that record that we can continue to make that happen. This season we finished the season 4-1 at home. I think a great credit goes to our students. That they show up and they do a great job. So I've been very happy with them. They're kind of the energizing force behind our team each and every Saturday, and our guys really feed off of them. And then just the Samford alumni, Samford fans, Samford faculty has done a great job of supporting this team as well. So when you have a great fan base, your team plays extremely hard each and every week. Usually good things happen, but we've been very fortunate. We played extremely well and been successful here on our home turf.
Yeah. Coach, I really like this team. I mean, you guys have overcome so much adversity this year, particularly on the defensive side of the ball with the injuries. How are we looking going into the next game with some of the injured players that we saw even go down in the game?
I hate to even answer that question, Kevin. We took a good our series of lumps there on Saturday. I was counting up yesterday throughout the course of the year heading into this game. We could be down 7 starters on defense. And again, Granger and Gooden went out of the game. They're questionable for the game. Jordan Montgomery hasn't played in 2 weeks. He's questionable for the game. Ty Herring didn't play last week. He's questionable for the game coming up. So you got to give credit to Coach DeTavio and the defensive staff. They've done a good job of mixing and matching people, and then you got to give credit to those guys for learning different spots. So we're really beat up. Of course, William Bryant, who has played really well for us this year at safety, made I said it was the game-winning play, at the end. Goes down with a very serious leg injury. But to all the fans out there, he's doing well. It's amazing. We got such a great team of doctors and a great sports medicine program here at Samford. And they were Johnny on the spot. Yeah. They got him secured on the sideline and stabilized. And he's in great spirits, doing really well. And we hope that his recovery goes well. Hope that everyone will pray for him, and that the plan is that he'll be suiting up back up for us again next season.
We certainly hope for that, and he gave the team a good handshake on the way out and fired them up.
Yeah. Well, he's a good boy, and he's been playing really, really well. And but most importantly, Sunday he was in tremendously good spirits considering the injury that he had. But we'll get him we'll get him rehabbed up, and we'll hopefully everybody get to see him out there again next season.
Well, we'll count on that. As we look forward to the weeks ahead, particularly next week with the Citadel, Citadel's not having the best year they've ever had, but we know Citadel plays hard. The type of offense that they're going to play against us, we've seen it before. Talk about your next opponent.
Well, their record is very similar to ours. I mean, I think only like one game separates us in the overall record. They played a lot of close games. If you look at their scores, it's been very close. I mean, they had Furman on the ropes and fumbled late in the game. So again, going to Charleston is always a very difficult place to play. To me, they have one of the best environments in our conference with all the cadets, and they have a tremendous alumni group that supports their program. Tough place to play. You play an option team that is always difficult to defend. And again, I think it comes down to the end of the day, like each week, we just got to go play the best we can play, and that's all you can ask of your team. And we've worked hard. We've got ourselves back in the hunt for the championship, like we talked a couple weeks ago. But you got to win the next game in order for that to come to fruition. So we're expecting a tough battle like we do each and every week. We're going to trust the process. We're going to prepare well and go out there and give them all we got on Saturday afternoon. I can assure you of that.
Well, very good. And, Coach, I may have one more year of eligibility on defense if you need me to come. So.
Well, we'll take all comers. If you could just give us 2 snaps, we would be better off than we are right now,
That
Kevin.
would not help the team, I promise you. It's great to have you today for the Chris Hatcher Show. And, Coach, good luck next week this week against the Citadel. That is a 1 o'clock Central Time kickoff, and you can watch that on ESPN+. Coach, hopefully next week we're talking about a big win.
There you go. I hope so too, Kevin. Thanks for all you do.
Yes, sir.